Let me just rewind and do a quick recap. Joon-Hung, who was my client during the 3 years I worked in Seoul, Korea, he and I started having feelings for each other. Enough of a connection that he flew to the States and has been working and living here for the last 9 months. Being a billionaire, he was able to follow his heart, and the cost to do so was no issue. Our feelings have gotten to the point he is introducing me to his parents, who we met for dinner in New York. So that's where this part of the story begins. So, here we go. Let me share a few significant things that happened during dinner, and that will make what happened later that night make a lot of sense. Honestly, I was terrified. I had less than 12 hours to process that I'm about to meet his parents. But I've been under pressure for work, and I've told people that I eat pressure for lunch. I was about to put my motto to the test. Actually, I was Googling Korean customs while he slept on the plane, when he took a phone call, while he showered. I lived in Korea for 3 years, so I knew some things about the culture, but I really wanted to get it right. He always went the extra mile for me, and I reciprocate by showing the ultimate respect to his parents. When they arrived, I greeted them with a slight bow, using both hands when shaking hands and accepting items. I waited for them to be seated first, addressed them formally, and paid attention to the small traditions that mattered to their family. Then I surprised everyone, including Joon-Hung. When his parents arrived, I greeted them in Korean. Nothing complicated. Just enough to show respect for their culture and for the people who raised the man I love. The look on Joon-Hung's face told me he hadn't expected it. Mission accomplished. I saw that smile like the first dawn in the elevator. My biggest fear would be dinner with the parents being stiff. Polite smiles, careful questions. A lot of watching of my every move, a lot of judging. Feeling that every answer I gave could result in rejection. Me watching every word. Every story feeling like a test. Me feeling like the outsider looking for acceptance. Not a situation I put myself in. But this is the typical rite of passage when you are making the right impression. Considering our global success in business, why did we feel like two 16-year-olds needing approval? I guess that's just the hold that the people who raise you have on you no matter what your age or status. The greeting went over so well, I had the confidence to say, I spent 3 years in Seoul. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm not fluent in Korean, but I plan to continue to learn and get better. Just enough to show respect for their culture and for the people who raised the man I love. The look on Joon-Hung's face told me he hadn't expected it. None of it felt forced. I wasn't pretending to be someone else. I simply wanted them to know that their culture mattered to me because they mattered to Joon-Hung. If I was serious about building a future with him, I wanted to understand the people and traditions that helped shape the man he had become. I looked over at Joon-Hung. His eyes never left mine. I could see how much those words meant to him. And I think his parents could see it too. His mom even whispered later, "You didn't have to," but I said without hesitation, I wanted to. This is my Korean greeting broke the ice, and Joon-Hung set the tone for the rest of the meal. As highly as he spoke of me, there was no room for his parents to even try to come for me. He built a fortress with his words.
Dasha is a very special woman. I hired her because I was in awe of her mind and accomplishments. 3 years I did not see what was in front of me. I did not fully recognize her other attributes and qualities until everything was coming to an end. And with all she has going on for herself and her business, she still does things every day that she knows makes me smile, but she's there for me, but without losing herself, and she's just genuinely happy doing things that bring us both joy. So many people will say, I'll scratch your back, but only if you scratch mine first. It means everything to find someone that doesn't think like that.
Being the gentleman, the caregiver and protector he was going to put me in an uncomfortable situation. He had great respect for his parents, but it wasn't going to undermine how he felt about me. Joon-Hung had a way that he looked in my eyes, unlocked in. It was almost as if throwing me in virtual anchor, so that I could steady myself and tap into my confidence, and not let anyone shake that confidence. It's a little hard to explain. But think of a kid at their first game or recital, and you look in the audience for your parents, and then once you find them, then you know you can go all in. It's a symbiotic connection you have when you found your person. I know some of Joon-Hung's words were directed at his mom to let her know where his first wife fell short. This was about him healing from what his ex-wife put and is putting him through. His mom owed him her genuine support of what made him happy. It was long overdue. It's not often a parent has to reconcile for a mistake of this magnitude. There are two kinds of people, givers and takers. My ex-boyfriend Jared and his ex-wife are takers. I am not going to apologize for giving them both shade. They deserve it. Then Joon-Hung started telling stories about us. Stories about our phone calls. Stories about our dates. Stories about the ways we had changed each other's lives. It was like he was saying these things to impress his parents. He was actually talking to me and letting me know that he recognized and even cherished how much of an impact I had made. She brought me back to myself, he said. The room fell silent. His parents weren't looking at me anymore. They were looking at their son, listening to a version of him they hadn't heard in a very long time. I know what it takes to merge two companies. We usually look for key core pillars to determine what's a potential good fit. So, here we are coming from different worlds, but as long as we have the same core principles, this feels like that has real merger potential. After that, everything changed. The questions became easier. The laughter became genuine. His mother started sharing stories about Joon-Hung as a child. His father even teased him a little. Somewhere between dinner and dessert, we stopped feeling like strangers.
I want to thank you, my son. We watched you become a man of honor, humility, and good character. Tonight, as I look across this table, I am proud because you have now brought to us a woman of those same qualities. A man's choices reveal his values. This is a woman reinforces what you value, but she reveals to us what your heart has been longing for in a partner. This woman is clearly a woman of character, substance, and strong values. We trust that you have found the person that is right for you. There will be more to say at another time. For now, I simply want you to know that you have always made us proud, and tonight you have increased and multiplied just how proud we are of you. Dasha, we are honored to meet you. I have no doubt we will meet again and see each other in the future.
Bottom line is that dinner went smooth. And so when Joon-Hung flagged down a horse and carriage ride, it felt like we were taking a victory lap after the big win. We were sipping champagne, but instead of it being that back of his limo in Seoul, it was on carriage ride in New York City. What a difference 9 months makes. I think this was a big relief for his mom. She no longer has the guilt of the drama he endured because of the woman she chose for him. I saw a single tear in the corner of her eye. I thought I saw his dad smirk, but I can't be 100% sure. We said goodnight to his parents when we left the restaurant. Joon-Hung and his mom had a brief exchange at the end where they spoke Korean. I for a minute wonder if it was some she said about me, but didn't want me to understand, which meant it might have been something negative. But Joon-Hung kept things moving along, so I didn't fester on that one moment. That exchange between mother and son would be explained to me later. Again, I felt like this was a victory lap. We had faced his parents together. I had seen Joon-Hung manage boardrooms, but watching him manage my introduction to his parents was a masterclass in chivalry. I was looking at him and thinking, when we get back to our room tonight, boy, are you going to get all of me. This type of PDA, public display of affection, is not a Korean custom. This is Joon-Hung taking full advantage of American culture, and I am here for it. After trying to be so proper and traditional around his parents, it feels like we are being rebels the first chance we get. So there is one thing I will remember about the carriage ride. Was that Joon-Hung specifically mentioned his son, and he can't wait for me to meet him. Not to try to interrupt the mood, but to let me know this was a love triangle. I fully understood and accepted that as well. I didn't know if it was the adrenaline from meeting his parents or the bottomless champagne, but everything seemed to be glowing and twinkling. I was living my best life, and this man could not get enough of this black girl. If the carriage ride was the icing on the cake, then the balloon ride was the cherry. A white balloon with the blow of the flame. It was like a floating candle, and we were in it. We were cozy, and so in the moment, the world and our future radiating beneath us. It felt symbolic of two worlds becoming one, in the infamous of all cultural melting pots. New York City. So up in the balloon, more champagne, and wouldn't you know it, a light show, a building with letters in the window. It spelled out, "Would you marry me?" I laughed. I mean, like, really loud. I was laughing at the irony. I may have thrown Joon-Hung off. He probably did not think it was funny. It just seemed random and not at all relevant. I said to him, "Look, someone is getting engaged tonight." The irony to me is that we were in this balloon and a message meant for someone else was at eye level for us. How beautiful and ironic. I thought to myself, Dasha, it's not your turn yet. Wait your turn. You're not the bridesmaid or the bride. Just be happy with how things are going and don't be greedy. I thought maybe someday those words might be for me. But honestly, I felt like the bridesmaid eavesdropping on some other person's engagement. Probably a Sally, a Molly, a Karen, or a Becky. In a flash, I saw my name Dasha in lights. Will you marry me? My knees were weak. I was having chills and hot flashes. I was laughing and still crying. Korean men are known for not wasting time in matters of love, but we had such a cautious start to us connecting and the lingering anguish of his divorce. Was he ready for this? And for me, I understood the magnitude and responsibility of someone giving me their heart. So I also had to ask myself, Dasha, are you ready? I laughed. I screamed. I cried. I kissed him. I hugged him. And then I said yes. Yes, yes. The hot air balloon turned purple at that moment. This man was a magician. He had some mini tricks up his sleeve. I saw him reach for a cord. The balloon flame was purple, my favorite color. And the building flashed, and the letters on the building were also purple, and they now said, "She said yes." I remember gasping for breathe, like I forgot for a few minutes how to breathe. I was intentionally saying to myself, "Breathe, Dasha, in and out, in and out." And then I know there were tears, but it was like involuntary. My senses were going haywire. I didn't expect it. I didn't believe it. It's something I wanted and didn't even realize how much I could want something, but always warned myself for so long. Happily ever after doesn't always come for girls that look like you, Dasha Wilkins, but now I can stop thinking that, because it did happen, and it does happen. Between the tears and the cases, I said yes. Yes? Yes. He joked and said, "LRT, me know if you need time to think about it." And I promise you, they were in sync in that moment. It's like he painted the night sky purple for me. Purple, my favorite color. I love him. It's hard to even accept that I am this valuable and worthy of such a gesture in this man's eye. Just shows even when you have confidence, there are still the moments of self-doubt. And I promise you, we were in sync in that moment. That's why we could laugh in unison, because we knew we were too sensible. Tentative, measured people daring to act on feelings, not data and metrics. That's why they call it crazy in love, completely illogical. It's like he painted the night sky purple, my favorite color, just for me. I did the work, I needed to love myself. But now letting someone love me this much was something I had to give into. I had to find the balance of being strong and soft at the same time without hesitation. I had mastered loving myself. That's why I got away from Jared, because I needed to define who I was without him. I feel in love with myself, and that's where my confidence came from. To even think Joon-Hung might look at me, confidence to love myself is one thing, but now letting someone love me this much was something I had to give into. I had to find the balance of being strong and soft at the same time without hesitation. I found out the purple lights was to notify the people on the ground. She said yes. The surprises continued. The people on the ground included his parents. My parents, his brother and sister that I was meeting for the first time, and my brother, my sister and my 6-month-old nephew. He flew all of them. Put them in hotels overnight. And Ray flying them home in the morning.
As you all know, I've asked her to marry me and she said yes. This is just a presentation of a token of my commitment to you.
He got on one knee and presented a box that was not like a ring box, but he presented a box, but not a ring box. It was not like a box that holds one ring. He opened it and it contained 5 rings. One in every popular diamond shape, round, oval, pear, cushion cut, and emerald.
And thank you for giving me a future I cannot wait to begin. To Dasha, to family, to our future. You can take your time and pick the ring you like. You don't have to pick tonight. I did not want to make this decision for you. I know you are very good at making your own decisions. I am here to support your decision. You can take your time and pick the ring you want to wear because this will be something you look at and have for the rest.
My mom was crying. My sister was crying. I think my dad was crying. My brother was looking a little worried, but he explained why later. Mai wasn't lying when she said she'd be at church on Sunday. Joon-Hung's plan was leaving at 7:30 a.m. to get her to the 11 a.m. service. They had been arranging this behind my back. They got to experience flying in his plane. They came down and were staying overnight. Joon-Hung only got my mom on the plane. If he promised Mom, she'd be back in time for church on Sunday. When my mom called me this morning, it was all part of the plan. She acted like she didn't know we were flying to New York. We transitioned from the outside into a reception area at none other than Tavern on the Green. There was champagne and more debriefing and laughter. Toast, champagne, laughter, the meeting of the families. Could we squeeze anything else out of 24 hours? But I was thrilled. What surprised me most was how naturally she became the most important person in my life. She made me laugh. She made me think. I was becoming a better man. Many people see two different cultures standing here tonight. They see different backgrounds, different experiences, and different traditions. Faith, family, hard work, loyalty, different cultures, but the same values. Love is not about finding someone who fits perfectly into your life. Love is finding someone who inspires you to build a bigger life together. Someone who encourages you to dream more, become more, and give more than you ever thought possible.
To my parents, thank you for trusting me. To Dasha's family, thank you for welcoming me. I know I came into your lives unexpectedly, but I hope over time I can show you that my intentions are sincere and that my love for Dasha is genuine. Tonight is not just the joining of two people. It is the beginning of one family.
Tonight, I ask the most important question I have ever asked in my life. I planned for months. I worried for weeks. I rehearsed the speech 100 times. But none of that mattered when I looked into her eyes and asked her to marry me. And thankfully, she gave me the answer I was hoping for.
I spent my whole life traveling from Seoul to the world. I never expected my journey would end when I found my way to your soul.
I'm not going to lie. There were a few sidebars that I caught out of the corner of my eye. Joon-Hung family had a few huddles. And there was no way for me to eavesdrop because it was all in Korean, but I recognized the tones and inflections. There was something wrong. There was always a chance they were just putting on one front at the restaurant. But now maybe their true colors are coming out. Especially now that he pulled out the 5-ring box. Maybe they didn't think he was going to put a ring on it. The exchange that Joon-Hung and his father were having was not the same tone as we had at dinner. His sister was crying. His brother walked away. I'm thinking, am I the reason for creating this tension in this family? I feel like I'm wrecking this family single-handedly. But I stopped myself and said trust that Joon-Hung knows what he is doing. I have to trust and believe in him. Might as well start now. Not wait until I'm standing in front of a minister saying I do. But 3 times today I saw Joon-Hung both very upset. This morning at the coffee shop, at the family reception after the engagement, and on the phone. Could him marrying me be the cause for all this drama? Instead of bringing it up, all I wanted to do was take his mind off of it. And I took his mind off of it all night long. We said goodnight and made sure everyone got to their hotels safely. Joon-Hung was not happy with Min-jin. He called us to wish us well, but Joon-Hung told him, "Brr, I expected you to be here. You are my best man. Young can't leave me hanging. I want you to be by my side when I marry her, no matter what." Min-jin was very apologetic. "Brew," he said. "God will, I wouldn't miss it. I swear I could not help not being there. Congratulations. I love you both. I'll call you tomorrow," Joon-Hung said. "Right now I'm going to turn my attention to my fiancé. Bye, brother?" I said. Tonight was perfect. I know it took a lot for this to come together.
Perfect is a lot to live up to and even to take credit for, but I hope my intentions and the spirit of what I wanted to do for you and for what you deserve came through. There may be some bumps and distractions. Even tonight did go exactly as planned. But whatever comes at us, we are going to be overcome it together. Once you said yes tonight, I knew from that point forward that anyone that gets in our way is in big trouble.
Why was the world so intent on intruding and inserting itself into our happy ever after? If our immediate family approved, why are non-immediate family making trouble? The next day was different. 47 missed calls. There is no such things as an engagement honeymoon. We had a sudden jolt back to reality. We both were responding to a barrage of text. Two things did not go according to Joon-Hung's plan. His son was not there. When the balloon touched down, I was supposed to meet his son. His son was going to be holding the ring box. He was supposed to travel with Joon-Hung's sister and brother. His ex-wife found a way to interrupt those plans. The second thing was his closest friend Min-jin was supposed to fly in. He confirmed that morning he was headed to the airport and then suddenly cancelled. Min-jin was the reason Joon-Hung found me in the airport. Joon-Hung felt like there was something more than a missed flight. Min-jin's excuse didn't match. Joon-Hung wanted to know why he felt he had to lie. Joon-Hung was busy texting ex-wife, best friend, father, mother, brother, sister. I was getting texts from my brother, by hairdresser and other people that rent in my immediate circle of friends. But suddenly knew I was engaged to a billionaire or two. That guy whose wife is on Koran, rich and famous. I was clueless where they were getting their information. I feel like I went from my protected bubble from last night and walked straight into a hornet's nest of gossip. Joon-Hung and I went from the hotel, to the car ride, to the airport, to the plane. We're up in the air, back down on the ground in Dayton. Took a limo from the airport and we barely acknowledged each other. We weren't mad, we were just so buried and caught up in the noise and chatter. Ex-wives, ex-boyfriends, custody battles, and that's not everything. There's some private pictures have been leaked to the tabloids. The story's made up of lies, and now Dasha has to wonder, who is the insider that's selling their pictures? Being engaged to someone with Joon-Hung's status brings with it a whole different level of drama, haters, and hurdles. I was not prepared for what's about to happen. Stay tuned.
He showers me with love, it's a natural flow. Takes care of my heart, he never says no. No need for others, he's my only desire. With him on my side, my heart's on fire. Oh, he's my rock, steady and true. He's my everything, my perfect